Good afternoon and welcome to the very first meeting of Public Facilities, Arts, and Culture for the 2023-2027 term. Thank you so very much for being here. I'm Councilmember Joy Stiles, and shockingly, for our first meeting, we only have 2 items. So let us embrace that moment, because as time goes on, there will be many more and a lot of conversation. So the way we are conducting our committee meetings in this term is a little bit different. We do have a public comment period. People are allowed to sign up, 4 people are allowed to sign up, and they have 2 minutes to speak apiece. Today we do not have anyone to speak. We have guests that are probably going to speak on our resolutions, but no one is visiting with anything to say. So we're going to move ahead, since we don't have anything on consent either. We're going to move ahead and do our resolutions. So we have 2 today, and the first is RS 2023-23. Council members Cap, Porterfield, Stiles, and Welsh accepts an in-kind grant from the Friends of Shelby Park and Bottoms to the Metropolitan government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation to provide equipment and signage improvements to Shelby Park and Bottoms. So if I could get a motion to move. Okay. Second. And everyone, and thank you so very much. Is there any discussion? Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and.
Do you mind, sorry, how much is the in-kind grant?
And so that is a question for our guest.
And I'm sorry, I don't have the legislation in front of me.
Okay.
It should be.
Ms. Zeitlin is pulling it up.
Okay.
So it's an in-kind grant, so it's not a cash grant, but the estimated value is $64,500.
Excellent.
Okay.
Lovely. Great. Any other questions? Okay, so all in favor of a support? And that sounded like an aye.
You get to vote 3 times. 4 times.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes unanimously.
I was saying aye in my head.
It's okay.
She said
you counted.
Too many.
It was counted. This is going to be the fun committee, everyone who's watching. Welcome to Arts and Culture. Our second resolution.
Camera's there.
It is, and I looked up at it. Do you know? You know I know where a camera is. Okay. So anyway, our second resolution is RS 2023-24. Taylor, Porterfield, and Stiles accepts an in-kind grant from Vanderbilt University to the Metropolitan government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation, to replace the current video board at the Centennial Sportsplex. Can I get some? Okay.
Second.
Okay, thank you very much. Any discussion before we ask a question?
Were they responsible for the existing board, or did they just jump in to replace?
So, one moment, Councilmember Ewing, we're going to throw it to our guest again to speak.
The existing board is 15+ years old. I believe it was installed not by Vanderbilt. Either Parks did it or there was another sponsor at that time.
Thanks.
So what is the new board going to look like? Do we know?
It's kind of jumbotron style. So, and Vanderbilt has their meets at Sportsplex, so that's their enlightened
So it's a symbiotic
self-interest.
Aha! That's what we like to know. Is where the altruism is coming from.
That makes sense.
And for our guests, if you would please introduce yourselves, because I know our new council members have not met you before, and they'd love to hear what your positions are with the Parks and Recreation, please.
Sure. Hi, I'm Cindy Harrison. I run the Greenways and Open Space Division for Metro Parks. Nice to meet all of you.
Excellent, thank you.
And I'm Tim Nate. I run the planning division at Parks. So glad to be working with you.
And did you both coordinate that you were going to wear green for greenery?
Greenways.
That is the second time we've gotten that comment today.
Or do you just have any clothes that aren't green?
It's a requirement of the job.
It's a requirement. Showing the uniform.
Excellent, fantastic. Well, yes, you were recognized, Councilmember Vo.
Thank you, Chair. Quick question. When will they have the replacement done? What is the timeline for that?
I can get back to you and confirm that. Happy to do that.
Thank you. So you can come back and visit. We enjoy your visits. So colleagues get accustomed to seeing their faces. They come frequently throughout the year.
Accustomed to their face.
These singers. Which is a good thing. Okay, so all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Fantastic. The motion carries. And so that is the end of our agenda, but I would like to talk a bit about what we are going to be looking at for this year. I know we have interest in greenways, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'd like to do for this year, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about the 3 appointments. Arts and culture has an opportunity right now to really dive into a lot of what is happening creatively in town. As you know, we recently created an entertainment commission, created a new Office of Music, Film, and Entertainment, and so what I'd like to do is hear from some of the creative entities that have not really had a voice at the table. So that's theater, that's dance, it's TPAC, also the smaller theaters that are doing like 1 million to 3 million, and then also our community theaters. So we can figure out how do we help them, because theater in this city is really struggling. We have a fashion industry here that is doing phenomenally, but most people don't know about it if you're outside of fashion. But New York has their eyes on us, so we need to be actively participating in that. We have greenways projects that are coming up. I know I sit on the Cheatham County Rail Authority, so we are working on the greenways plan throughout Nashville right now, so there's a lot going on for us to keep track of and to make sure, specifically from this committee, I really want us to deep dive as we go through the year and talk about what are the needs really of the constituency of this committee, and to have them come and let us know, what do you need when it's budget time, so that we're not getting in a random email, but that we're hearing from them directly what the need is, where the money is going to go. And so as we have budget conversations, we are knowledgeable to be able to present to our colleagues about why we are pushing for the things that we're pushing for.
Okay.
And I will say that last year, the first time, I think in maybe 20 years, we increased the allocation to Metro Arts by $2 million, and that's because we all collaborated. They came, they spoke here, they spoke to the Women's Caucus, and so we have a great opportunity to do a lot of good, and I'm looking forward to doing that with all of you. So with that being said, I'm going to talk about greenways, and there's a lot of excitement about greenways. So I do have the 3 individuals that are going to be serving on the Greenways Commission. Councilmember Ewing, Councilmember Kapp, and also Councilmember Hancock, who is not here. She is traveling and she is on her way. So welcome to your new BF.
Because you're elected by the committee.
Yeah.
So
Are they?
you'll need to
Okay.
vote on them.
And did you also express an
Look at
interest?
me. Yes,
Yes.
Jenny did.
Yeah.
Jenny sent me an email.
Yeah.
Oh, trying to do order. Okay. So, nominations from the floor. Who would like to be on Greenways? We'll just take it back to go forward if we don't mind. Okay.
What?
Okay. Well, since you're here, I think that it would be great for each one of you to give us a reason for why you'd like to serve on Greenway. So why don't we just go counterclockwise and start with you, Councilmember Welsh.
Thank you. I think this is really, really important. You were talking about the opportunities that we have right now in front of us. And there are many great things about Nashville that we can be expanding on. Right now, most people don't realize that Nashville is an urban forest. We are the 2nd largest in the world right now. 7,500 additional square feet of square acres, miles of green space, and we will be the largest in the world. Sao Paulo, Brazil right now is the largest. We sit at the foot of, the Highland Rim. We have opportunities to expand that and make that a real destination. We need to be protecting all of our greenways and adding, it is so integral to the new way we're going to be looking at transportation and multimodal transportation, all of these things. They need to be tied together so that we can move the city forward. And I just think that it's very, very important that we work on these things, and I want to be involved in creating that as we move forward, because I think it's very, very important to the future of our city.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Welsh. It was very eloquent and passionate.
Well, thank you.
Councilmember Ewing.
Thank you.
You're recognized.
I have a background in sustainability, and I'm extremely passionate about the city's level of sustainability, our canopy cover. I'm equally passionate about equity. I think that in the district that I represent, we have two major parks. We have greenways that serve the population in our district quite well. I know that some people actually use our greenways to commute part of the way, and so what I'd like to see is for the city to expand greenways and give access to greenway amenities to everybody in the city. I know that there are some sections of Greenway that are not connected, that should be connected, and we should be making that a priority so that everybody in our city has the same access that the residents in my district enjoy.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Ewing. And Councilmember Cap, you are recognized.
Thank you. So commuting along the greenways is something that's increasingly happening, particularly, or at least to my knowledge, from the east side. And it's something I think that when we speak of greenways not quite being totally connected, I think an important frontier in that is going to be along Davidson Street and in the East Bank. And so if we're going to have a great countywide greenway network, it will have to be part of the planning and implementation of what's going on the East Bank and from Shelby Park into downtown. And without that connection, we won't really have, I think, a full greenway network. Another thing I think is important in the mandate for this commission is looking for and acquiring or helping acquire new open space. There's been a sort of recent, I think, great success story in my district that I had very little to do with, but Laughlin Springs Park is not through that commission, but an example of the city sort of finding and acquiring new green space and preserving it. And when it comes to sustainability and quality of life, long range for our city, I think it's important to have somebody, representing the idea of finding and building on that model to preserve green space, and particularly with our tree canopy as well. So those are areas I'm interested in and I think are important and that I look forward to hopefully working on.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Cap. Ms. Zeitlin, so in doing this vote, is it like the old school way that we were doing last term where we are writing down names, or can
you
we
can
do...
vote, you can do it by voice acclamation, you can do a show of hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, point of order too. Does this committee send 3 nominations to the vice mayor to make the final?
No, your committee
decide here.
selects.
Okay, we decide here, okay.
Yes. So, this feels so like American Idol-ish, but, so
I'm not
I guess, right? So I guess we can go with a show of hands. So, but, yeah.
Do we need to read
Tanya
Councilmember Hancock's?
Tanya
She also,
Hancock's letter.
Well,
do I need to
Should
read
we
it, or
just-
can I leave these
Should we
members
just
to
read it for
ourselves?
the next few moments?
A moment of silence, as it were. Little Darby.
I had no idea.
It's like being in elementary school and waiting for people to turn their papers over. Okay. So, with that said, I guess, all in favor of Councilmember Welch being one of our appointees to the Greenway, if you will raise your hand so I can write that down. Okie dokie. All in favor of Councilmember Ewing being on the Greenways.
I guess I can vote for myself, yeah.
yes, you can vote.
I'm getting so many flashes of what this committee is going to be like for this year. I'm so excited about it. Okay, and last but never least, Councilmember Cap. In favor of Councilmember Cap serving on. Okay, fantastic.
Was
Well,
gonna mess
that
with
went really easy. I'm really grateful. So our 3 new appointees will be Councilmember Jenny Welch, Councilmember Sandy Ewing, and Councilmember Clay Cap to the Greenways. And you can, meet your activity director after the meeting is over. And with that, I believe we are now, before I say that, if you would all do me a favor, before our next meeting, if you can please let me know, for those of you that are serving on Greenways, I know you're passionate about Greenways, if there is anything else within arts and culture that you would like to discuss, anything that you would like to address, if you can give that to me ahead of our next meeting, so we can create a trajectory of who we want to come and how we'll flow for the rest of the year.
Okay.
So just kind of our priorities for our district and.
Correct?
And overall.
District, or even for the city, right? Because we're here to address
Yeah, wonderful.
citywide needs as well.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you very much. And with that, everyone, we are adjourned.